welcome everybody to this weekly open Zoom meeting.
Hello.
And hello, Rosa, Garrett, Wendy, Tony, looking sharp. Dr. Joe Rettino, nice to see you here. You maybe want to introduce yourself. Let me do a short intro. Sebastian, good that you are here. Well, yeah, what is this meeting about? Well, it has no subject, so to say. Anything may come up when it comes to this meeting, discussing and arguing or whatever, going into this or that, or trying to explain, pointing. So it has no goal, so to say. Although, yeah, there may be a sense that this has a goal, or this need to have a goal. And there may be a disappointment that this has no goal. Well, I would say, yeah, all those things may arise. So welcome everybody. I would like to start with a little intro. And so there's no separation between the personal and the impersonal. Tony has mentioned this many times in the prior meetings that, the personal sense or the impersonal sense, there's no separation. I would say whatever seems to be happening is both personal, impersonal, both relative, both absolute, both this and not this at the same time and not even. Personal and impersonal don't actually exist outside the innocent thoughts or ideas or concepts, painting them to be an existing reality. So this is it. Welcome everybody. Feel free to share whatever is coming up. Like I said, this is an open meeting, so everyone is free to speak. We don't do any hand raising here, so just hop in and say whatever is coming up. Okay, Tony, your hand's already in the sky. What is it? What do you
No,
want?
I just wanted, well, I just wanted to ask Wendy if she has a cocktail this week, like she did last week.
Spinach and banana smoothie.
Oh no, sweetheart, you're killing me.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, I believe you. Nice. Enjoy.
I am.
Enjoy your smoothie. Let me go. Maybe Dr. Joe, you want to maybe introduce yourself and how
Sure, yeah,
how did you
absolutely.
come to this meeting, and is there a special interest? Is there a belief that you think you can dissolve into the isness of whatever seems to be happening? Just whatever. Why are you here? What is the reason you came to this meeting?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everybody. My name's Dr. Joe Vertino. I'm a professional spiritual guide, author, musician, and Reiki master, which is energy medicine. And yeah, I have been, on this path, so to speak, of liberation for, I guess you could say, technically my whole life, but actively as an adult. I'm 34, so for the past 12, maybe 12 years is good to say, so to speak. The first time I meditated, I was 21 years old, and I had a very, very uh, real experience. And it was the first time I had ever meditated. And so God kind of grabbed me by the back of the neck. And I'm very, yeah, very, very passionate about liberation. And I'm familiar with the word non-dual in the sense that dual meaning like this binary back and forth kind of it's a little bit extreme to say it's the opposite of freedom maybe, but something to that point in the sense of there's an isness, like you just mentioned, an isness that is inherent, that is already there, and we're working to understand that in ourselves rather than anything else, which I see as like non-dual, because it can't be two things, can't be duality, right? So, but
Well,
yeah,
if I may interrupt, non-duality means actually not two.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, exactly.
so yeah, we can say there's just whatever seems to be happening. You can call it consciousness or beingness. And there's no such thing as a separated you and beingness or consciousness. So out of that suggestion, you may say there's just consciousness. And some can even go as far as saying you are consciousness. I don't see the need to say that, but if that is what is coming up, right, then that is just simply what is arising. There's no issue with it whatsoever. So yeah, this is not, I mean, you said you are on a spiritual path. Um, so there's a clear idea that one day, someday, maybe after meditation and, doing practices, whatever those practices may be or not may be, they're going to be like a final point when, yeah, maybe you can tell self what is going to happen then. What is the idea? What is the idea? What is the so-called goal? What is going to happen in the end of that path?
Absolutely, yes. I guess this to start with an answer for that, sir. I would say if you're familiar with basic philosophy, there's these two words, objective and subjective. So objective is like the weather, right? It's something that is the same for everybody, no matter what, like gravity, and then subjective is our personal experience that is never ever that it's never something that it can't only be us, right? That is our personal experience. So the reason I bring that up is because we're looking for kind of this merging of the two in the sense that it's our personal experience that's subjective of everything can be brought to this place of desperation, even to use a extreme word, of that end of the roadness, right? That you talk about awakening, right? And then that thing is, well, this has to be real. If it's real for me, that means it's real for everybody, right? Which is the objectivity. So just to kind of, I guess, start with some words on that, philosophically, which are all, safe to trust, in that way. And yeah, and that's the thing is we are never each other. So we're never, then that, what is that, right? Because we're everything that can be different, that's possibly different from one person to another person to another person. But yet we're still here and we're specifically talking right now about this one thing, that's not all these different, things.
Oh, but
Um,
that's, I
yeah.
mean, I wouldn't go as
Well,
far
that's a lot of
as that
concepts
one
there.
thing, that one thing. I mean,
Hmm.
it seems, but I mean, this can be a matter of language, but there seems to be a painting of that one thing, which seems to be different than these so-called things now, which are happening right now. Is that correct? Is there an idea that there's a one thing which is not already just this, appearing as many things?
Yeah. I mean, so yeah, yeah, to answer that one, yeah, in Buddhism they have that saying, I think is it the 10,000 things? There's a high number, right? 10,001 things. And the point of that is basically uh that there is an innumerability to existence that's overwhelming, right? That if you sat outside and looked at the grass and you tried counting every blade of grass, right, it's an overwhelming thing. And you can think about different species throughout nature, to say in that way, and then what we add to it, right? The buildings, the airplanes, and all these different structures in our shared universe, in our objective physical universe. And then in that way, the natural step becomes, well, it's not about allowing that truth of that overwhelmingness to be accepted in yourself, right?
And what
and
self
and
would
that's
that be?
basically What's that?
You say accept it in yourself, and what self would that be?
Well, but we're already here and we already have our personal experience of life. So I don't really go with that as much, right? Because we're in a place already and we exist and we understand that we can change for the better and improve, but it doesn't help for us to deny ourselves though, where we already are right now.
Yeah, but I don't.
Yeah.
This is not about denying or acknowledging yourself. This is just pointing out. I can say there's just the self. There's no separated self doing the denying or the acknowledging of something separate or not. It's already, I don't see anything else but the self, which includes the idea that there is a separated self who can see this or the lack of that so-called idea. I don't see that there is a line between objectivity and subjectivity as two different dimensions. This is already objective and subjective at the same time. There isn't two-ness. There isn't a defined border between objectivity and subjectivity. But this is it already.
Can I ask Joe a question?
Please do, sir. Yes.
I'm just waiting for Sandra to stop talking.
Well, go ahead, Tony. I already stopped, so the waiting was in vain because
No,
I
that's
already know
okay.
what's coming, buddy. So go ahead, whatever.
Joe, I just wanted to ask you, what does meditation mean for you?
Meditation. Thank you for that question, sir. How lovely. Yes. Meditation to me, I guess in that way is, I even want to say it has no there's a nothingness as the answer to that question, right? And I can explain that almost like kind of practically and scientifically. So it's not rude, or I'm saying like that question doesn't even make sense or doesn't matter, but it's still giving you the answer that you're going for. It's that in that way. So what meditation means to me is that you could see how when we use our senses, our physical senses, right? Our eyes, our ears, taste, our feeling of our body. And we understand that in meditation, if we go to a library after maybe, shouldn't take too long, of some serious enough looking, you'll find that meditation throughout human history has been about the denial of those senses, right? Which equals us not using them, right? Closing our eyes.
So what do you do?
Go ahead.
So what do you do? What do you actually do?
Well, yeah, in meditation. Well, yeah, in that way.
Is my mic level a bit low?
No, it's good.
Is my mic level okay? It's good, is it? Oh, sorry, because Joe, you were sort of doing this. I thought maybe I wasn't coming through very loud. Yeah. So, what do you actually do then?
Waiting.
In practical terms, what is it you do?
Yeah. So in meditation, basically, if we understand that there can be a whole bunch of different reasons as to bring someone to meditate.
Hey, Dr. Joe.
Wait,
Dr. Joe, stay with you.
Yeah, but what do you do?
Question.
He is
What do you
asking
do?
What do you do?
Go from your own experience. Be personal. Be fucking personal. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm asking what you do in practical terms. What is it you actually do when you sit down on your yoga mat or whatever it is? What is it you actually do?
Yeah. Well, for me, in that way, that the most important thing to me in all life is reverence. So if you wanted to get a clear answer for sure, because I did start with the kind of Blackman answer of nothing, but yeah, reverence, being reverent, the best way to do that is by literally being still as best as you can. So that's my answer to that, being reverent, right?
Can you please give me another word for reverent? Because I don't know it.
Okay, stillness. Stillness?
Reverent is still?
No. I'm saying that what he essentially means is that he's aiming for stillness. Would that be correct, Joe? You want to be still. You want the mind to be still. Is that what you're aiming for?
Well, yeah. I mean, in that way that, yes, in the sense that we deserve the truth, right? Everybody deserves the truth, right? You know, and
Stop! No, Dr. Joe, bullshit.
You're going to this is concepts. You're going to
stop,
no, look, sorry,
Tony,
just
Tony,
say
stop. Dr. Joe, why are you always speaking for all? Why can't you stay? It just try, please. This is a game. Do me a favor. Stay with you, just with you. Don't mention we or they or all people. You have no idea what's going on with the others, actually. So this is maybe, let's play this game, okay? Maybe it's a bit strange now for you, but a question: do you meditate?
I do, yes.
Okay, good. Thanks.
But what do you mean with, you know, that we all want the truth? Because, you know, the assumption, first of all, the assumption that there is all we who wants the truth is just an innocent idea that there is such a thing as others, you know, which is based on the sense I am this and there are others. When there's no of that sense, where are others to, you know, to want to find the truth? So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with all these ideas, you know, that or assumptions that there are others or beliefs that there are others. I'm not saying that it is wrong or right, but try to stay with what seems to be happening there for you, so to say, instead of, you know, generalizing.
Right. It's rude to speak for other people.
Yeah, it's very easy.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do that. Of course
it's
not.
It's very easy to go into, it's very easy to launch into concepts, you know, which are sort of part of a belief system. So I was just interested in asking you in very, very practical, very, very simple terms, what is it that you do? Not what you conceptually think it is, but what it is that you actually do. Because that's all that meditation is. It's what you actually do, not what you believe.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Okay. So let me go with that. So yeah, in that way that there's a deepening of experience, right? In meditation, we're not going away from or hiding per se, right? We're not running away from something when we meditate. It's a deepening, we could say, right, of experience. We're going more into life rather than away from life. You know,
it's impossible to run away from yourself, I would say, but okay.
You cannot run away from, you know, who is there separated from this, able to run away from this? You cannot even run away from running away. It's just simply not possible. This is totally unavoidable. Whatever seems to be happening or is believed to be happening or claimed to be happening, it is already unavoidable. There's just simply no way to escape whatever is happening, including the idea that something is happening to begin with.
I was asking you the question because it's just that so many people, there are so many different ideas, you know, about what meditation is. So, you know, I just wanted to know what you thought it was, because it's a word that seems to mean, you know, sometimes meditation means something that's kind of contemplative, or, you know, it's trying to work out some kind of problem, or, you know, it can mean a whole range of things. For me, it has a very, very specific meaning, and that is that it's the direct experience of non-dual awareness. That's all it is. For me, meditation is just that, going back to the source, which is non-dual awareness, and abiding in it, and then for some time, and then going back into action, going back into normal activity, and then alternating that with immersing yourself or connecting with that substratum of awareness. That's what it means to me. So probably good idea that I tell you what I think, because I've asked you what you think. So I just want to, as it were, put my cards on the table and say what I think it is. But
can I make a question?
Of course, Gio, go ahead. You had your hand in
Okay.
the air. Go, you have the whole.
My question is for Tony, for Dr. Joe, or for anyone. What is not meditation?
Well, everything is meditation, Gio. There's nothing
but
but
not
everything that
not
isn't meditation.
But you said
I'm asking,
everyone.
What is not meditation?
Sorry, Gio.
Everything that isn't meditation.
What is that?
Well, anything you can think of. Is thinking meditation?
So meditation is something that excludes stuff. It excludes things.
Yes, most definitely.
Okay, well then for me that's just some kind of exercise, of some kind of bullshit.
I go with you, Gio. I see it the same thing. It's bullshit. Meditation is everything, we can say. There I go. When meditation is everything, yeah, I go with you, and nothing, but not
Well,
like
that's
a
not my
special thing. Which
that's not my definition.
Well,
yeah, okay.
You know, let me before we go in all types of ideas, you know, let me put it like this. Meditation is whatever meditation claimed to be, felt to be, or is suggested to be. And this can be so many things, including, you know, for some so-called person, you know, sitting in cross-leg posture, you know, staring at this left foot nail is meditation. For another, I mean, you know, what meditation is or isn't is already just simply whatever it seems to be. So the idea that, you know, we can go into what is good meditation, what is bad meditation, is there meditation? It seems to be that we try to,
If Gio is saying that everything is meditation, then
yes,
that means that nothing is meditation.
There is nothing that is not meditation. There are no two states, two stages, meditative stage and non-meditative stage. This is just
in that case, bullshit. Back to you, Gio.
Well, bullshit is also included. Everything is included. You know that, Tony.
Yes.
We tend to
I can't
to
agree
spin
with
off
you, Gio. I'm sorry, I cannot.
And trying to eliminate what is not right, what is not meditation.
No. You're just making stuff up.
No, everything.
You're making stuff up.
How could something not be meditation? How could something not be already what already
easily
is? Okay, I'm waiting. What?
No, that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything to me.
Let me refine it for you, Gio.
Yeah.
What I would say is there is no one in any state of meditation or the lack of that state. There are no states. There is just this. We can call there's just this state. There's nothing else. There's no one in it. There's no one in a meditative state able to get out of that meditative state as someone separate able to go into a certain state. There seems to be states, you know, walking state, sleeping state, dreaming state, but there is no separated you in that state as something which you are, which is able to hop from one state to another.
Exactly.
But Sander, that's how the knowledge of non-separation comes about, because the meditator disappears in the meditation, and that's the direct knowledge that there is no separation. That's the whole point of meditation. So for Gio to say, well, everything is meditation, that doesn't mean anything. I mean, those are just words that don't lead to any kind of knowledge or understanding.
I would say meditation is also not leading to any kind of knowledge or understanding, sweetheart Tony.
Depends what you mean by knowledge. I'm talking about direct knowledge.
There is no direct knowledge. There is no direct knowledge.
Not the kind of knowledge, not the kind of knowledge, dualistic knowledge about facts and information. I'm not talking about that kind of knowledge. I'm just talking about the direct apperception of what you are.
Yes, but you are talking about the process, Tony. You are indicating a process from going from one state to another state. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Are we discussing a process here in this forum? From non-enlightenment state to enlightenment state, or what? What process is that?
I don't know. What do you want to discuss?
I don't want to discuss. Well, I love to discuss. You know me, Tony. You too love to. It's beautiful to discuss.
Yes,
we all love to discuss bullshit.
Of course we do.
What I'm trying to say, and which I think Sander is always saying, is that there is no separation.
You don't like the process. Yeah.
The process is going from one
when you make an absolute
state.
statement. Yes, you don't like the process. I know you don't like the process. Yes, but those absolute statements don't mean anything unless they're realized. Unless it's a living reality, it's just a statement. It's just another belief system.
So let's make it a living reality right now, in this moment. Not sit down and meditate for tomorrow or for the next week.
Okay, I'll wait here. Yeah, I'll wait right here. I'll just sit here and wait.
It's done.
Oh, right.
Tony, sweetheart, you are always too late, sweetheart. Sorry.
It's always done.
You know what? So when I say there's no one in,
I'll bake a cake.
And I'm baking cookies. Zaderlintje.
So the only difference.
Yeah, I hope those cookies don't. I hope those cookies don't crumble.
I have a question.
Next.
Hello.
Next.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, David.
And
Hey,
Doggy. And Doggy.
And Tot. Yeah, this is Tater.
Cool.
Go ahead, David.
For Tony, I was just curious. You said the point of meditation without getting conceptual for you is a direct experience of non-dual awareness.
Yes. The point of it is to transcend thinking, transcend the mind. Just that, nothing else.
And what the product of that is, like when you've reached this state of non-dual awareness, that is something that's happening.
Yeah, everything's happening.
Right.
Good point, David. Something that's happening to me. Something that's for me.
Is there something that's not happening at any time, anywhere?
Well, what you know, if I should explain, maybe Tony, that happening is empty of a me. So there's just a naked happening. There is no sense it's happening for me or no me. There's just simply the naked raw happening.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So that is what Tony tried to point out, where I say it's already me-less. That's just simply how it seems here. But there seems to be, for some so-called individuals, there seems to be a collapse of that additional, where everything is, it's me doing this and that. There's just the naked doing without the sense of ownership or doership. So what is left is just the raw isness.
But you're saying there's no separate me, which is not the same thing as saying there's no me.
Exactly.
No, who wants to say there's no me? Nobody.
No,
there's no separate me.
Yes, I don't say there is no me. I say there's no separated you or me and this. We can say there is just, we can say there's just the self, or there's just you. There's no separated you doing the youing or doing the being. There's no you to be or not to be. There's just beingness. There's no you who can be more yourself than what the self already is, but in an impersonal way.
Yeah.
There is no person.
But making an absolute statement doesn't make it real, doesn't make it so.
But that's up to the
Gio's just said
listener,
it.
Tony.
Yeah.
That's up to the listener. I mean, you are making a kind of an accusation. Well,
no, of course it's up to the listener. Of course it's up to the listener.
I mean,
I think somebody,
how could a me appear here and be separate? I mean, how could something be separate from the movement, which is being, the totality of being? How could something be isolated in some other place, in some other time, in some other event? There is no such thing. So we are pointing to
there is no separation.
That is happening timelessly right now, right? There is no need to make any effort to strive, to go after, to run after, to seek, to search, right?
And Gio, are you aware of that timelessness when you're not thinking about it?
It is never absent, Tony. It's impossible.
You know that?
I don't even know how to.
Is it your experience? It's never absent.
It is the experience, but not mine. Of course. It's no one's.
Again, in here now, it's very obvious how, in a way, with Tony, it's about the knowing, even though it goes like with transcendental, I don't know what kind of non-dual experience. And what Gio is talking about, it's not about knowing.
No.
Yeah, right. I go with you, Gio, definitely.
Didn't somebody mention like the isness?
Isness, yes.
Yeah, someone was talking about there's just the raw
isness, yes, always.
Everything,
right? I was earlier, and it was answering the question.
Yeah. I think that's sort of interesting because all these states of meditation or knowledge or not, like anything that seems to be happening just has the quality of isness to it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing outside of isness that could know isness. So this idea that a person that is
but that's a beautiful concept.
Come to an awareness of isness would mean there's something outside of isness that can look at it. But if there is the feeling...
In that case, how do you know there's such a thing? How do you know there's such a thing as isness then?
You don't know it.
Who knows isness?
You don't know it. It is all.
Well, how are you able to speak about it?
Why not, Tony? Why not?
It's
just happening. It's just happening.
And like you said,
can you speak about something that isn't known?
Of course, the whole time. Yeah, it's obvious, Tony, that you can't.
Only thing that can be spoken.
Nobody can. If someone talks about isness, they're only talking about it because it means something.
Well, no
words.
No.
So, before we go into a right and wrong type of conversation.
Oh, that's cool, sweetheart. That's the game to go and right and wrong.
Oh, yeah. But I mean,
Yeah, Rosa likes those right and wrong things.
Of course.
I would just like to mention.
Of course.
Claiming.
The moment.
Go ahead, Gio.
Okay, sorry. The moment you, Tony, you say that's just a concept, it's something that you are saying for yourself, not for others, right? Someone says something and you say, oh, that's just a concept. It's because you don't see it directly, right? So it's up to the listener to make the
Is it?
proper adjustment.
How do you know?
No,
How do you know?
if you
How do
say
you know I
it's
don't?
just
How
the
do you? You're
concept,
saying I'm saying it because I don't see it. How do you know? How would you know?
well,
That's
if you
your
say
concept then.
yeah, that's right. That's what I'm saying. There is only one point of view, which is mine, and for you it is yours. That's all.
Of course, I
No
can't have any other
escaping
point of
yourself
view except
already.
my own.
No escaping
No
and no
escaping.
It's
escaping the
not
misunderstandings.
possible.
Can I say something again here?
But-
No.
No, no.
Yes.
Go ahead,
Yes.
Dr. Joe. You know,
Hey Joe.
So
Hey Joe, where are you going with that gun in your hand? Yeah.
gonna kill some illusion.
Oh.
All right. Okay. Cool. So. All right. So yeah. So to provide some clarity on this.
Ooh.
So we obviously brought up the idea of
Behave yourself, Rosa.
isness, right? The isness, the suchness, right, of existence that we don't have to pay attention to per se. Like people can live out their entire life and die, and they could ignore that, right? They could be like a, to be stereotypical and potentially offensive, like some salesman, traveling salesman, and they don't stop but to eat and sleep and drink, and then they go to work again. But we're here and we're choosing with our mind's attention
no,
to pay attention to the isness,
no.
right? To the existence. No? You say no. I'm interested.
No, because
Hmm.
the idea that you are choosing, or the sense that some is choosing, or the opposite itself is already not chosen by something separate. There's no such thing as a you choosing to do something or to do not something. Yet, in an absolute way, I would say there's no you. There's no one in that so-called salesman to avoid or to do something else, where in the opposite we are choosing for this. No one, there was never a choosing for this to begin already, I would say. I would say that this, whatever is happening, just suddenly started playing, as far as thoughts, perceptions, ideas, and beliefs are painting this to happen or to begin already. There was no me waiting for this to happen. There was no me as a separated initiator of life or this. There was already no one, So this is not about, we are the ones who go deeper, going deeper or not going deeper. It's all just innocent, but at the same time, innocent or spontaneously, if we try to pick them apart, are just other ideas. I would say
It's
that's
like
just
being
what it is.
it's like being born. Nobody choose to be born, right? Suddenly there is light, or waking up from deep sleep. Suddenly there is light. Nobody chooses to wake up.
No one is saying
Everything happens like that. Right.
No one is saying in 10 minutes I'm going to wake up and then I'm going to have a miserable day. As there's a body awaking as far as it seems, and there may be a sense, I would say that sense of you being the body, which is just innocent, which can be a misunderstanding. I'm waking up, and out of that sense of I am this body, all types of suffering will arise, because when I'm this body, I'm separate. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the sense or the belief to be the body. But the sense I am the body or I am not the body is already arising. It has no continuity whatsoever. The belief that you are the body or the belief that you are something else are just coming and going. Thoughts, beliefs, concepts, they arise before you know they're gone. There is an impermanence in concepts and beliefs. So
it's funny because we are born without choosing, and suddenly we believe that we are choosing little things.
Oh, yes.
I want to drink coffee. Oh, I want to drink tea. And we believe that there is someone choosing these little things. But the huge, big thing which was being born, nobody chose.
That's the game, huh?
But
Gio,
even,
that's the joke.
you know,
That's the
even
joke.
coffee or tea, it's, you know, or a certain, you know, the liking of coffee and tea. There's no you know, script, you know, where you're going to say, one day I'm going to like coffee. There's just a liking of
Yeah.
coffee or a disliking of coffee. It's quite innocent and spontaneously, as is this conversation. There was no script, you know, there was no one thinking I'm going to say this and that. And if there was that thinking I'm going to say this or that, that idea of going to say this and that was just arising. And where
So,
is it now?
Dr. Joe,
Well,
do you want to comment
all you
on
can
this?
really.
I'd love to, yes. So what I would like to, and just to kind of go with, and I'm new to this group, obviously, and I'm not new to non-dual teaching, you know, and spirituality, obviously being a spiritual guide, and none of you are either. But what I guess I would like to maybe just kind of at least establish in myself, I mean, you know, is what is the intention, to be clear, of because this is wonderful, and I know that personally, but what, to put it into words, right, to externalize it, what is the intention, I guess, for this, for the meeting generally? Where are we shooting the arrow?
Oh, there's, you know, this is,
Now that's a very tricky question.
there is no attention. This is not a one-to-one, or how do I get enlightened or whatever, you know. These meetings are not, you know, there's no defined goal. Like we build up as a group, and then in the end of 2025, we're all going to float in thin air or whatever. I mean, there's no such intention. This is just, you know, a coming together, and then
Let me say, yeah, coming together, and here
No,
I would
actually,
say,
Joe, this is
first,
module
Tony,
6.
shut up, ladies first. I would
You're
say,
a lady now, or what?
yeah, I'm a lady. No, and
let
I would say this is pure entertainment. Okay, Tony, it's your turn now.
Like music.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Joe, this is module 6, and next week we're going on to module 7.
yeah.
Yes, but I think that there is something deep. There is a certain direction here.
Oh, yes.
Because we are constantly saying that there is no separation.
Yes,
We
there
are
is a direction. Of
constantly
course.
saying that everything is included. You cannot exclude anything from being.
No, so
And the miracle being in whatever way, manner, or mode.
yes.
So there is no need to choose the right from the wrong, because everything is being. The false is right in its falseness,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
beautiful. I mean,
Gio, look, the thing is, you are not the doer, but you act as though you are. I mean, that's all you can really say about it. You know, everything just spontaneously appears without
including
doership, but you
Yeah.
act as though you are the doer. So it's okay to talk about choice. It's okay to talk about making decisions. That's fine. That's
No problem.
okay.
I would say,
Even though it's spontaneously arising.
yes, Tony,
Yeah.
beautiful. I would say, when there is no sense of separation, you know, choices are just choices. Preference are just simply preferences. Wants are just simply wants. Needs are just simply needs. When there's a sense of separation, it's my needs, it's my wants, it's my life, it's my whatever, it's my meeting, it's my knowledge. You know, it becomes suffering.
Right.
They share Joe's question, at least from my perspective or whatever.
Yeah.
Like the point of these meetings, as I see it, like we're not here to talk about like golf or
Right.
But
American
maybe talking about
politics.
golf may happen, Dave.
Of course, Sanders,
you know?
of course, anything could happen. But as far as like some, bumpers in the bowling alley. It's kind of centered around the concept of non-duality, which then immediately, what's rare about these spaces and these meetings is that it's immediately admitted and pointed to that any understanding of non-duality, it's turned into a concept, and what's really being talked about is non-conceptual. Because the isness that you've mentioned, or calling what appears to happen just this, that's just the mind kind of projection, making it into something solid, when really it's anything and everything that's happening. So it is the projection, it is the sense of self, or the sense of the stomach. Like the thought I was having the other day is like the feeling of the body and the content of the thought are not separate in their isness. They're just what appears. They just are. And
we are totally lost.
Any thought about what I have now, or what I'm aware of, what I know, that also just is. But the content of what that thought is just the appearance. It's just the dream. There's nothing in knowledge that's solid, that's sustaining. There's just what appears to be happening. And then this conceptual kind of discourse about how to get to that understanding. I mean, it's folly. There's no understanding that is outside of isness. And it's so basic and simple that it just is the isness, that it repels knowing. We can get a concept and think we've held on to something, but this doesn't require understanding just to be what it is. Like the feeling of the foot doesn't require knowledge to keep feeling. Yes. The mind just conceptualizes, doesn't need knowledge to be where it is. And like the idea with meditation of shutting down the senses, if you get really down into like basic sense, like the weight of the body or the feeling in the hand, that is just what appears. It's no different than suddenly feeling connected to the whole. It's just what's appearing. It's no different in quality. So I guess that's what I come to listen to, is this
and if there is some understanding, some conceptual manufacturing, that is also this.
Oh yes.
Right. It's no different than understanding the plot of a movie on TV.
Exactly.
It's not special.
Whatever seems to be happening, or may claim to be happening, or felt to be happening, doesn't need something for this to be already exactly what it is.
It is already, in your words.
It's already. Which includes the idea,
and
the
not
belief
even
that it's already, or that it needs something, or nothing. This is already everything and nothing, and not even, because everything and nothing in a way are just more concepts. So there seems to be a need to land, but there is no landing. There's no place to land. Yet every place is this already. Even the landing, the absence of landing.
It's like plotting infinity. There's to talk about anything, there has to be a perspective to start from. Otherwise, there's nothing to say if there's no reference from where to speak from. So we come up with these concepts the second that we've conceptualized, that we've put these artificial boundaries on what is. And then it's no longer the boundless freedom of this. It's now something contained by the mind so that I can make words about it.
Yes, but we can talk without any anchoring. We can talk without having any view. We can talk by being lost completely without bearings. We don't know where we are. We don't know what we are. We don't know what is up, down, right, left, nothing. It's completely floating in the air as nothing. and we can bring words from there, right? And such words have a different smell, a different fragrance.
Well, like you said, Gio, the
You know,
anchors.
David, when you were talking about emptiness, objects are empty of any substance. I think that's what you meant, wasn't it? I mean, in Buddhism, emptiness in Mahayana means that everything that you see or everything that appears, everything that can be objectified is empty of any real substance because it's impermanent. But that doesn't mean it's not there.
I think what I was illustrating was like there may be a qualitative difference between the color red and the color purple, but they're both color. And so there might be a qualitative difference between that body and this body, but they are both what is. And so in that sense, emptiness, I guess, could be a term for anything substantial beyond that it just is. There's nothing behind it animating it. There's not an isness that is a separate force from what is. There's no denial of this happening, but there's nothing to know that.
I mean, no one knows if this is actually happening or not happening. You know, at a certain, but you know, when
What
there's
if you have the thought, I know this? What's happening then? You see, you make this statement saying there's no one to know that. But if you say, well, I know this, what's happening there?
What's happening is that there is a separation. There is a construction of a
Is it
certain
wrong?
center that knows something else. So the word
But
knowing.
when you say, I know something,
Hmm.
but when you say this, I'm sure you say this many times, I know this, I know that.
Yeah.
And then you say, well, there's no one knowing it. But at the same time, you're saying, I know this. So what's happening there?
Well, there's the appearance of thought just occurs. You know, what was the word?
Well, everything is just an appearance.
And spontaneous, right? So there's the thought is spontaneous. Like I could say to you, I know how to play guitar, but really what's actually happening, what appears to happen is I pick up a guitar and there's memory, there's thoughts, there's conceptualization about how to interact with this tool of expression. But saying
Yeah,
that
and the body can know things. The body can know how to play a guitar. The body can recognize and know things. So if you consider yourself to be the body and you say, I know, then you are the body knowing. But if you look, without this separation, it's just the body knowing.
And is that helpful, Gio? Is that helpful for you?
I've never thought about being helpful or not because, it just happens.
yeah, nothing
That's
needs
the
help
way.
to be what it is.
Yeah.
There's no intention to help with elucidating on.
well, I mean,
It's-
knowing or
Concept.
not knowing. Sorry, David. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that was it. Just there is no intention to help.
I was gonna
Here.
add something, but I don't want to skip before. I think was it Clay?
No,
I
it's
forgot the
Sander,
name.
but it doesn't matter. It's
Claire?
Sander. I have a
Go
different
on,
name
Joe.
because I used this link from Claire. But go first, Joe. It's already.
Oh, thank you, sir. Yeah, to kind of bring more into where we're already kind of shoved off towards, so to speak, like in a boat, right? Towards a destination, towards the sunset together. I think the thing is making peace with what we already are oscillating around, what we already kind of are have found enough of, right? That we're involved with, whether we agree on the terms or not. I guess so. Making peace with yourself on being on the path of liberation, I guess, is I mean that's a very personal thing that I brought up just then. But Yeah. I think, and also because we can't, you know, I guess maybe you could say, if you've noticed, we're not in control, right? In the sense of, if we wanted to attain enlightenment this second, and we kind of clapped our hands together very rapidly, it doesn't mean that we would actually attain enlightenment at all right then. And that could be a hectic thing. So I guess making peace with yourself on the path, and the optimum word being path, right? It's not a dime, right? It's a path. It's a whole thing, that we're walking. And yeah, I guess just to say something relevant.
Yeah, I agree with what you are saying, Joe, but you must be a little bit wary or be careful when you say that we are together in a path, not to project something happening tomorrow or the next week or the next month.
And the we, because there is here no sense on being in a path, there's no sense of being in a life or on the way. So when you say
but if there is a goal,
well, I mean, I'm not saying
if there is a goal,
Tony.
No, I'm just saying if there is a goal, then that goal has to be peace and the end of suffering.
Well,
I mean, there's no other goal.
There's a goal. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the goal, but when you suggest we are on a path, here there's no such thing as being on a path, not even that the path is finished or whatever, or on the way to some certain end state.
Well, any seeker will define themselves as being someone who is on a spiritual path.
Yeah,
that's what
that's fine, Tony. Tony, that's perfectly fine,
right?
But when there's a suggestion that we, it's just the word we. If someone is saying I'm on the path, I'm perfectly fine. But the projection, what Tony also, what Gio was also saying, that we are on a path. I just want to make clear that here there's not on a path. There's no on its way to a destination. I'm not on my way to get somewhere. What needs to be?
I know you're not on a path, Sander.
But I mean, and let me be honest, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the idea or the belief or the sensation that you are on a path, or that you feel that you're on a path. It's what is. I cannot say anything. I don't see any issue with whatever seems to arise, when it comes to ideas and beliefs and sensations. I don't deny them. I don't deny any sensation or belief, so I'm pretty fine with whatever seems to be expressed. So this is also not about, saying there is no path. If there is a path, then there is a path. That's it. What can I say? If there is a sense, there is a path, and the sensation and the belief, then that is just simply what it is.
And a seeker feels that there is a path to what is, but the, I guess, realization or embodiment or whatever is that how could there be distance from what is to what is? Where would a path?
No, there isn't, because that would be an attainment.
Right.
Yeah.
That it's not an attainment, it's a revealing of what is already, always has been. It always has been this. So it's not discovering something that wasn't there before. It's a revealing, in the same way that, the sun is always shining, but it just might be blocked by a cloud.
I love that. Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, this points that there is something which is always here compared to, just to pick it apart. There's something which is always already, which is not coming and going. And we talked about this in prior meetings. I would say that which is always here is not separated from the coming and going. Even, the relative and the absolute are not two. There's no defined border or edge between that is what's coming and going, and that is what is not coming and going. Like there is no separation between what is changing and non-changing. This is changing and non-changing. This is coming and going and not.
Well, first there is, first there is a mountain, then there is no mountain,
And then there
then
are
there
mountains
is.
again. Yes. So I know I understand, Tony, for the sake of, there seems to be, when there's inquiry, there seems to be the need to divide and make a distinction. When that is so-called done, there's no need to make any distinction. They're seeing that there is no distinction already. There's just this beingness or isness or thisness or consciousness, awareness or God, whatever word seems to be appropriate.
Just the present presence.
Well, somehow it can be expressed.
Well, there seems to be the trying to express, but it's the funny thing with language, right? When we say we try to express something, it gives rise to the idea that there is something more sacred, something which is hidden, what is real, and we try to express that. Where I say the expressing is already that. This is it already. There isn't something in a way which is blocking.
It's the sound
Yeah,
of
that's
sharing.
also true.
Conceptualization can be very subtle.
Yes, exactly, Gio. It can be very subtle. It can be extremely subtle. And language is always dividing that which is already not divided or not two, but language itself is already not separated from non-language. Silence and sound are already not two.
I would say like the sound of the words is not separate from what they're signifying.
Mm.
Like the content of what is shared is not important, not more important than just the sound coming out of the mouth.
The meaning.
So I did this before, right? I mean, I think it's always funny. Is there anyone, really, is there an actual sense of feeling separated from the words, which seems to come out when they're speaking? Is there an additional sense that there's a separation, that there is a you and something else called the words, or are they just the words?
I can always say, Sander, that I am the one, I oscillate between the states,
Yes.
I can easily say that sometimes I feel separate, and I can easily say that sometimes it's impossible to be separate.
Yes.
I navigate very easily between this awkward and weird states.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, you express it always honestly.
What do you think, Wendy?
I think that I agree with Gio. Like sometimes it's like I'm grasping, and sometimes it's just a letting go. It's like an in breath and out.
Yeah.
But we talked about this before. It seems, when there's daily activity, whatever activity it may be, even meditating, sitting or talking or walking, here there's always the nakedness of whatever is walking, just purely walking, talking, enjoying. And then there seems to be an addition in language when somebody has asked you, what have you done, Sander? Then there's well, I walked. in that moment, in language is separating the whole thing in an I and something which was done as two separated things. But it's nothing more than an additional layer.
To this.
It's, you know, it's just nothing but an additional layer. Walking, any activity doesn't need the sense of a you or the stamp it's my doing for it to happen already. Feet moving and lips moving doesn't need an additional layer of a you. It doesn't need that sense. It's already just completely naked. Always. Because when there is walking, there's no additional loop going on. I'm walking, I put my left foot for my right foot, I'm doing this, I'm walking, I'm walking, I'm walking, I'm walking. No, there's just simply walking or talking or whatever, thinking or crying or, you know, laughing. Is there not?
Yes, there is a Brazilian song that goes like this. It says, "The time for sleeping and dreaming feeds the time for being awake." And the other way around. Each state feeds each other. I know that doesn't make much sense, but there is something in it that suddenly I can only talk for myself. Suddenly I know that not that I know. Suddenly there is separation. There are strange concerns, there are strange preoccupations, and something inside there knows that there is a separation as me. And suddenly it disappears.
Well, it's with everything. I would say, you know, if there's a sense of separation or the lack of that sense, whatever seems to be happening has no continuity nor solidity. It's gone the moment it arises, and then it may even feel as if it never happened. So even the sense of separation, there's no you separated bringing about that sense of separation. That sense of separation or the lack of them is just arising. There's no separated you bringing that about. It's completely arising on itself, in itself, and it will dissolve in itself, on itself also.
But you know, it doesn't make much sense to say that I feel separate, but there is no separation. You cannot, I mean, I can make this statement, but then Tony is right. I'm being conceptual. You know, if I say I am separate, but there is, you know, there is only oneness. Everything is already this, including this me, which feels separate.
Well, in a way, you know how, you know, when you say I'm separated, but this is not separated, how is that separated to begin with?
No, yeah, of course.
Please show me
I have no
where it is
arguments.
separated. Is it outside? Where is it then? Is it in a different place?
No way, no way.
So even the sense of separation itself is not separated. I mean, separation and non-separation are not even separate.
Of course.
I used to be very into self-inquiry, and it's the loop of knowing, because like Gio said, there could be a sense that I'm separate from everything else that's happening. I'm separate from the senses in the body. I'm separate from the thoughts that arise. But then looking to see what's aware of that self that is separate from the senses and from the thoughts. And then what's aware of that, which is aware of that separate self, which is separate from the thoughts. And then you're in a hall of mirrors.
Yeah.
And that's what seems
Yeah, but the whole point of that self-inquiry is for that to dissolve, isn't it? Because because those
To
two
stop.
questions of self-inquiry, which is, to whom does this thought arise? The answer must be, it arises to me, it arises to I. And then the question, who am I, makes it dissolve. So you're not going into this kind of infinite circle of who's thinking of this and who's thinking of this. No, I mean, it dissolves. That's the whole point of self-inquiry. So the one who appears to know to whom the thought is arising disappears.
Yeah, but that
And the mind dissolves into the source.
but
I would say, though, if that worked, then there would be no one after that who is on a path.
yeah. And there can be
Yeah, but it's only temporary.
there can be a new thing from I'm not this
It
body,
dissolves and then thoughts come again.
but it can also lead to just a new concept, a new idea. I'm not this body, but I am the awareness of this body.
Usually that's what happens.
But I wasn't.
It's just a new.
But what I
it's just a
was
new-
talking about wasn't conceptual. It's non-conceptual.
Yeah, I understand. I understand it's non-conceptual, but at the same time, it can be as much a shifting of beliefs, a subtle one, because out of the belief or the concept, I'm this body, separation is arising. Out of the belief, I'm the awareness of this body, there seems to arise a certain spaciousness, but it's just a subtle form of another identification. It's still, there's a you who is something. Now that you is not the body, now that you is awareness.
Yeah,
And
that's all
not the
good.
point.
That's all good.
No, but that's not the point, because you don't need awareness to be.
What's the
Being is the miracle, not awareness. And it includes everything.
well? It
Right?
depends what you mean by to be.
If you state that there is some kind of a ground awareness and say, oh, wow, ground awareness is my God, is beautiful. No, it's being. Being is everything.
No, but you don't have to use words to describe it.
No, I don't.
No, but
we are
So why
here
would you want to
talking, right?
worship it when it is?
well,
I mean, it
that's
just
what-
is.
That's
the
what
funny thing
happens
is,
subtly.
when you say, and I know we talked about this earlier, when you say you don't need words to describe it, I know that's already painting, because it creates the idea that there is something
That cannot be
If
described.
there's no yeah, but you're saying that it creates the idea there is something, as if there is someone who knows this awareness.
No,
But
no,
that's
no, I'm not saying
actually
that.
what's
But when you
happening.
say,
because there is no separation. It's just the way language makes it
I know,
sound.
I know,
That I am aware. I am
That's
awareness,
right,
but
yeah.
that's not what's happening. It's awareness that knows itself. It's just that language makes it sound dualistic.
well,
Can be,
the idea that that awareness knows itself, or the lack of that idea, so awareness knows itself or awareness not knows itself, is already awareness. It's not one or the other. It's both and neither. It's only awareness, or
Yes,
only being.
yes,
right.
yes.
But this is the trap or the illusion that something can become something.
Yes.
Awareness can become aware of itself. This is a path, even if it's not for you. It's for then this disembodied awareness, or the
It's for
persona.
something outside of this. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Something-
Can I say
me, but
something again?
awareness.
that something can become anything.
It's
other than
always going to be a trap. If it's just a mental concept, it's always going to be a trap.
Right.
Of course.
I was going to add something, not to interrupt if anybody has something they really want to say first.
No, go ahead, Dr. Joe.
Okay.
No, go on.
So I guess I'll say about one little thing about myself. I'm very purpose driven. You know, I have a lot of purpose in my life, and I'm enjoying this, and this is lovely. And I guess to add a little bit of that to where we are right now, I forgot the name, the bald guy with, I think it was an animal that you were petting on the couch. I missed your name.
David is his name.
David, thank you, sir. And by the way, what do you like to be called? Mr. Patterson? Is that right to say to you?
No, but Sander. Sander is good. Claire is just
Oh, you're
the lady
Sanders,
who
okay.
I've loaned the link from. Sander is good. No problem.
Right.
Do whatever
Okay,
you want.
good. Yeah, so I was going to say, on top of what David just said, so talking about awareness, and that we understand that awareness just on its own is that word, is just that one word, right? It's completely kind of what is it? Is it impersonal? Is it I see it as kind of that kind of like a cloud in the sky, kind of floating, but kind of lacking of purpose, but it's there, it's real, it's awareness, right? And then I think that when we you know, this actually is taking a little bit of a healing bend, but when we bring it into our personal life, when we bring awareness, right, that cloud was kind of hanging over us into our personal life, right? And then that's kind of like, I think of like that is kind of like shining the light into ourself, which translates as can be healing, or you mentioned God, like God's will being done in ourself. But it takes our intention, we could say, our aim, to use that kind of word, you know, of doing that, in the sense that, you know, if God just is, and God isn't going to walk us down the street, right? That's against the point of creation, right? Of free will. And that we are, it's so obvious, at least to me, you know, personally, that it's so appropriate 100% to reach, you know, with all of what you have, all of your muster, towards what you know is better, right? So I see that as that we have this kind of you know, almost kind of like numb, kind of impersonal awareness, which isn't really good or bad, it just is, right? Is awareness. And that we know that and then going with what is our fervor, what is our passion, and that awareness can help that, our most personal possible things. You know, I guess just to add some kind of purpose, you know, into the conversation. But yeah.
To that, I think.
Can I say
awareness isn't
something?
doing anything.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. What happens is
Awareness
that
has no purpose.
the body-mind relaxes, right? So you sort of, there is the loss of a sense of doership, of responsibility, and that's relaxing. And it really happens. It's really, I'll say not, I don't want to say good or bad, but it is relaxing, right? But then you can drop the notion of awareness when you realize that nothing and nobody is doing anything, right? Or everything is being done by no one, which is the same.
That is the end, yes. Gio, when there's seen that there's no doership whatsoever, I mean, you say, I would say responsibility is still arising, but it's not your responsibility or my responsibility. There's just responsibility. There's no sense of self, nor the doer of the responsibility or the owner. So anything is basically just still whatever, you know, responsibility is taken, but there's no additional layer that to be your responsibility. You are the owner, you are the doer of that responsibility or the lack of that responsibility.
Yeah, responsibility just arises.
I could also say
something. What I would say to Joe is that, sorry, David, I'm just going to say to Joe, there's absolutely nothing wrong with having purpose. Or having, you know, you said you have a lot of purpose in your life. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
For who
Yeah.
is that purpose? I mean, where's that purpose coming from? You know, is it the whole time there? I mean, you know, purpose or the lack of purpose plays freely, I would say. So there may be purpose, and then suddenly, where's that purpose now then? You know, there is purpose, and then suddenly there's no purpose.
Let me quickly say a joke. So maybe when Dr. Joe is joining more meetings here, maybe this purpose can collapse.
Well, there's nothing wrong with purpose, like Tony is
No,
saying.
of course not. But David, go on.
Oh, wait, what's the joke?
That it will collapse, maybe, the purpose.
Oh.
That was it.
Look,
I thought she was going to tell a joke.
Because he is so passionate. You can see it. Dr. Joe is like booming manifestation and purpose, and you can see it. So this may simply poof
yeah, but purpose
goes
itself,
boom.
you know, purpose itself has no continuity whatsoever. It has no solidity whatsoever. There's no, you know, purpose is purpose until it's not.
Yeah.
It's the rising, you know, it's the same with needs. It has no continuity whatsoever. Please show me where is purpose. You can show me to where it is.
Look at Dr. Joe. Here we go.
Oh, but I'm asking Dr. Joe, please show us. Where is it?
Do you keep your purpose in a little box under the bed?
Or where is it not, I would say. You know, where is it and where is it not? It's all purpose and it's not purpose. You know, it's the same there again, you know, I mean, it's beautiful having purpose and then suddenly the lack of purpose. I'm just suggesting there's no you to bring about purpose. There's no you able to hold purpose. I want you to keep purpose for 10 minutes. Keep it. Show me how it goes. Just keep it. Keep the purpose. Where do you have it?
Oh,
So, Joe, maybe the thing is to be free of the purpose, to have freedom from the purpose.
Sure. Yeah, I mean in that way, and I don't want to skip again if anyone has one, but yeah, I mean so to me it's you're saying be free of the purpose. Now, why not just say be free of everything? Be free of everything, right?
Just be free of everything. Be if you're non-attached to everything. But I have to put a caveat in here because not being attached, not being attached does not mean not being engaged. You can be fully engaged in the world, absolutely active, do whatever you want, and at the same time not be in bondage, but in bondage to the field of action, not to be attached to it. Then that's the freedom.
That's the goal. That's the goal. Yeah. And there is a path. According to Tony, there is a path to this. David, come on. I'm holding the space now here.
Finally. But just kidding. Just to respond to Joe. Well, first of all, to make a distinction, I would say not all of us are suggesting a goal or a path even to non-attachment. That's not what I'm sharing, at least. But I would say with purpose and meaning, I think when there is a sense of separation, when there's a sense that there's a me separate from everything else, there's this perceived gap between the two things. And then meaning and purpose are sort of the mind's attempt to fill that gap. Doesn't know what is on the other side of that gap, or even what's on this side of the gap, but it perceives there's a distance between maybe peace or fulfillment or enlightenment, whatever that is. And so there must be then, if I feel like a doer, there must be an effort that can be made to close this gap. And sometimes that seems to work for a while with people that are, helpers. They want to heal other people or give a bunch of money to a charity. It's like that can close that gap to feel like I'm becoming more wholesome through these efforts. But it never lasts long, right? It's something that needs to be kept up like a practice. I need to practice meaning and purpose. I need to practice finding my meaning and my purpose so that I can close this gap between whatever this is and whatever wholeness in my concept of isness is. And so I think what Tony might be suggesting, or Claire, or sorry, not Claire, Rosa might be suggesting is there can be a collapse either of this side of that gap or of just the gap itself. And with that goes the effort. There's nothing to give the effort. There's nothing to have a purpose or meaning. And there might still be a drive, like Tony was saying. There can still be engagement, engagement with work and things that are enjoyed, but not as a tool to get to somewhere else.
When the me and the mine it drops out, there is just the naked purpose or the whatever is happening. I mean, purpose itself
it's the
has
dropping
no
of
purpose.
the me and the mind.
It's innocent. It's not a problem. It's the only option for a mind that perceives a distance.
Yeah.
It's just this innocent play of, well, I'm going to do something then. I'm going to close this gap. I'm going to fix the problem. That's just the way the mind seems to work.
Purpose itself has no purpose. Nor need.
You know, David, when I talk about practice, I really need to make a distinction here between, I'm not talking about self-improvement. I'm not talking about any kind of self-improvement, like I need to be a better person no, absolutely not. That's not what I'm talking about in terms of practice. It's an important distinction, I think, to make. Self-improvement belongs to, what I would call New Age spirituality. That's where self-improvement, being a better person, being a better me, but no, absolutely not. The practice I'm talking about is to become, to abide in that which you already are as a living reality. And that is very natural. That's just completely natural. It has nothing to do with self-improvement.
But when it comes to becoming a better me or whatever, because when we talk about self-improvement, I would say that becoming a better version of me itself is already me-less. Me-less in the sense it's already absence of a separated me. Even the wanting to improve, to become a better me or to become a person is already impersonal and personal at the same time. So wanting to become a better person is both personal and impersonal.
Tony, could you?
Yeah, I mean,
curious if you would say, or if you could make a further distinction, how what you're talking about as a practice is not a form of spiritual materialism.
Oh God, no, absolutely not. I'm a materialist. I am not. No.
No, but a spiritual materialist. It's not a materialist in that sense. A spiritual. Where there's a gaining.
I don't know, David. How would you define that? Actually, I not quite understand what you mean by. I know what materialist means, but what's a spiritual materialist?
Well, it's creating an object out of a spiritual goal, like the obtaining of a.
Oh yeah, you could call that bypassing. Is that spiritual? Is that the same as spiritual bypassing?
No.
Bypassing sort of justification for action, but as far as what you're expressing as the goal of the practice is not like self-help and new age kind of stuff like that, but it's this recognition of awareness. And that is what I would term a spiritual material.
It's legitimate to talk about a goal, but the practice itself shouldn't have a goal.
And so what are you practicing if it's not a skill or a goal?
Practice is just being. It's just being.
Well, how can being
That's
be
not a
practiced?
practice. But
Exactly.
it's not a practice. But
how can
do you want to use a different word?
Tony, how can being be practiced? Because
it's not a practice. It's not. It can't be.
Then what is the practice?
How can being be? How
but
can
you
you
are
practice?
talking about.
How
But
can
you
you
are
practice
talking
to
about,
be?
sweetheart. But you are talking about. Look at him now. This subtle grin in his face. I love it. But yeah. But how can you are talking about something which can be practiced and leading to somewhere? But you're talking about this the whole time.
You can't practice. Yeah, but you can't practice to be. Do you want? Is there a different word to practice? Noticing. What about noticing or acknowledging?
Meditating.
You don't have to use the word practice. You don't have to use the word practice. You could just say, look, if there is this, just going back to Joe, you see, he was talking about stillness. Well, maybe you just notice the stillness. You just happen to notice it. So that's not a practice. I just use practice is just a word. I mean, use a different word.
Well, I mean, everything already is effortless.
You're not satisfied with that answer, Rosa. I can see that.
No, there is there. I cannot explain it. I feel you, Tony. I can only say that I feel in a way. I can feel you, and I love simply the energy, the joy, in a way you go for your bullshit, and I love it. I'm also doing the same, so to say. I also go for my bullshit. By the way, Dr. Joe, I call it follow your fucking highest excitement, no matter what.
Oh God, I knew that was coming up.
Is there anything else? You know, I mean, it's always high. There is just the highest excitement or the lowest. Yeah. There's no you to follow anything in that sense, I would say, you know.
I forgot to say if you can.
Yeah, I would say, you know, if you can. I mean, how can you practice something?
To put it bluntly, Rosa, if you don't do anything, then nothing will happen.
It's very hard to do nothing or not to do anything.
Well, and even nothing will not happen. I mean, everything is already effortlessly there. You know, there's no you able to be. That's the whole thing. There's no you as a separate.
It's an undoing.
Be or
an
nothing.
Undoing. What I'm talking about is an undoing. I'm just using the word practice because it's just a word.
Oh, come on.
It's not trying to be something.
Oh, come on.
It's an undoing. It's just,
come on.
It's just noticing. It's just noticing the stillness that's already there.
Tony.
That's what it is. I call it a practice. I call it a practice.
Rosa.
You can call it a banana. It doesn't matter to me.
Tony, listen up here. You're not
That is angry. That is angry.
Rosa. Tony, you talk, you know, I just want to make clear here today, we talk a lot, you know, that's obvious. And we agree. But
no.
Wait. But Tony, there isn't practicing going on there. You know, maybe you want to explain that there is no practice going on whatsoever, right? Is there, because now it maybe comes across that
for me
practicing, yes.
Oh, no. My practice finished 15 years ago.
So, but because of your praxis, you got enlightened, right, Tony?
Well, what difference does it make what I say? I mean, it doesn't make any difference whether I say yes or no. What difference does it make to you?
I bet if someone comes with the wish to become enlightened to you and the other one to me, I would just simply say, well, sorry, no such thing. And you will highly probably go and show him the beautiful way of meditating himself into nirvana.
Well,
actually, you know, it's quite useful to say this because the reason the practice stopped is that the practice just became this.
A habit.
You know,
the practice stopped because there was nothing else I could do to be, you know, this.
No, because you're done. You know, look, the idea that something can be done or not is already done. It's already done.
It's what it is.
So the belief that something can be attained or can be done is already done. It's already, you know, I mean,
if I practiced, look, I mean, the point is, if I practiced, I mean, that practice ended 15 years ago in just like 1 second. That was the end of practice, because after that instant in time, there was nothing else I could practice to be what I already am that was just permanently established. So practice has no meaning to me now. I mean, it's no meaning, because the practice became this, whatever this is, and it became established in.
But you understand, Tony, that
in
when
just
you talk,
blink of an eye.
When you talk about it the way you do, it's all, you know, it has the greatest meaning, right?
Well, strangely enough, it doesn't really have the meaning, because it's just a faint recollection.
Oh, let me put it different. Let me put it different. You understand, when there's extensively talk about practice, that this can be heard as that is the only way, and that's the meaning, and there's no other way. That's how it is. Where I say,
yeah, because I would say, yeah, I mean, I can make absolute statements like that. Like, for instance, I would say that mind, which is just a bundle of thoughts, right? Mind alone is the obstacle to liberation, you know. So that's one of my statements that I will make.
Yeah, and I don't like it.
That seems to have a meaning.
I love it.
Nah, I knew you wouldn't like it. Of course you're not.
I
like
know
it.
that Dr.
But
Joe
Tony,
loves it.
Tony, listen. This is mind already. So you know what
Yeah.
else? Claiming
Yeah.
that mind is the obstacle is the mind already claiming there to be an obstacle and something else, right? You know.
Of course it is. Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, it's that too.
So Tony, you see,
It's just like there's both doership and non-doership. It's
Yeah.
like there's both impersonal and personal. It's like, you know, it's like there's unmanifest and manifest.
Yeah.
The point is, to the mind, this seems like a contradiction. But to me, it doesn't.
I'm
Because there's
not
no
saying it's a
separation.
contradiction.
If there's no separation, there's no contradiction between personal and impersonal.
No, and mind and no
Doership,
mind. No
non-doership.
contradiction between mind and no mind. There isn't even a mind and
It's
a
all
no
consciousness.
There
it's all
isn't.
banana.
Because
all
what I
banana,
would
sweetheart.
say, it's bananas. But what I would say is that, first of all, you know, you're making an artificial distinction between, you know, if you did self-inquiry as David did, or you do meditation as Joe does, you know, you're making an artificial distinction between stillness and that which is not still, thoughts, perceptions. You're making a distinction between the two, which is not real. Because if you want to talk about goals, then the goal is to decide that there is no difference or separation between unmanifest and manifest. See, that's why the personal is never a problem for me, because there's no separation. Therefore, I can be a me, I can be a personality, and I can be an individual, because it's not different to the totality.
Same here.
That's why it's not
Same here, Tony. So
this is not something I'm trying to resolve with my mind. If I did it with my mind, I would go, oh, this doesn't make sense. How can you be personal and impersonal? But for me, because there's no separation, it's not a contradiction.
Yes, it's not contradiction. At the same time, stillness and the lack of stillness has nothing to do with you.
I disagree. If there is no contradiction, you cannot say that there is a separate me. There may be a sense of separation, but not a real entity separate.
Yes, there is no real. Try to find that separated me, please. Try to find where it is.
You're Gio, you're confusing making a distinction between separation. You can make a distinction between two things, and at the same time, there not being separation. You know, you can talk about the distinction between a tree and a car. You can talk about the distinction between pure awareness and thoughts. You can make all those sorts of distinctions, but that's not the same thing as saying they're separate.
Yeah, but when you say there is a me, you know, that can improve, that can get better.
Yeah, of course there's
it's
a
bit
me.
A me. Oh.
Yeah, of course there's a me. There's
As
a
a-
me
as
in
a
the same way
concept.
that there's a thought.
There's a me
As a thought,
as a
yeah.
thought,
because
as a
it's-
belief, as a sense, but there is no
Yeah.
such thing as a separated, solid, autonomous doer behind this. But yes, there's a me as a
Let
belief.
me put it this way: there is appearance. Let me put it this way: there's no separate self, but there is clearly and obviously for everyone in this meeting, there is selfing is happening. Selfing is happening. You know, you're going to talk about your favorite movie or your favorite food. You're going to talk
Innocent,
about
yeah.
likes and dislikes. That selfing is expressing itself. That cannot be denied.
Yeah, so
But that's
that's why
quite
we
different
say
to say there is a
there
separate
is a difference,
self-entity.
but there is a difference between a person and personality. There are 9 personalities. That doesn't mean that there are 9 persons, right? Personality.
Okay. The distinction between personality and a
Yeah.
person. Yeah, I mean that I understand what you're saying with that. Yeah.
Personality is not an entity, but a person is imagined to be an entity.
there's no such thing as your personality or my personality.
Yeah, no.
Can I
Just
say
Yeah, but at
personality.
least, but they still can talk about it.
We can
Yeah,
I
still
can
talk
still
about
talk about it.
yes.
I can talk about your personality.
Yeah, as
Yeah.
if there is two, but that's just linguistics. That's just language. But there is no such thing as your personality or my personality or my body or my love or my
From where I'm
faults or
sitting.
my needs, my wants, my
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And even that is not mine.
But from where I'm sitting, your personality is not the same as Gio's personality. That's an
Yeah,
observation that I'm
personality.
making.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
But that distinction, that separating from one to another itself is already not separated. So there seems to be an innocent dividing, but that dividing is not separated from the whole, from the totality.
And Tony, I think what Sandra was also saying there is it's the my or the your, which is the linguistic
Yes.
Yeah.
understanding. There is a personality, but it's not my personality or yours. You could see
Well, that's right.
my personality is different than Geo's, but there's not a Geo behind the personality.
Exactly.
There's not a me behind this voice.
Nor is there someone behind this
That's
body.
right. That's absolutely right.
It's not my body. There's no one in this
Yeah, I
body
mean,
or
you know,
separated
when
from
you
all
were
this.
talking earlier on about walking, you were talking about walking. Well, does anyone ever think about I am walking? They just walk, right?
Yes.
Nobody does that, do they?
But there seems to be, you, for example, you is when people say, where are you? People point to the body. So there seems to be, you and me is synonym for the body. This is who I am. People point, this is me. It's all around the body. That body is me. This is who I am as an absolute reality. It has become a reality on its own.
Okay, let me put it this way. If I talk about you as being different and separate to Geo, I'll do that, but the thought never arises, oh, there's no real separation. That thought doesn't
we're not
arise.
talking about that, Tony. We're not saying that thought, because this is just simply in this talk. But of course, when there's interaction between people, there's no additional layer. Well, there's no separation, or there's just simply what is happening. Talking with people, there's no additional claim, or at least not here saying, well, they don't exist or they are not separated. No, there's just an innocent acting, whatever that acting may be. That acting is spontaneous.
Oh, Rosa is poised.
Owned.
I'm what, sweetheart?
Poised. Yeah, I can see you're poised. ready to launch
to boom
into
out. I was
boom
oh
out.
no, I
That's
forgot it, sweetheart.
I was gonna add
Fuck.
something. I don't want to interrupt,
Yeah,
Don't
go.
interrupt, Dr. Joe.
especially the only female we have, right? We have all the men's voices, and then when the female speaks up, we need that. But yeah, no. So when
Two
you remember,
females.
just
Sorry,
shout it out.
sweetheart. Two females.
There's two. Oh, I forgot the other lady here too.
Oh my
It's-
gosh.
Sorry. But yeah,
You messed it up.
I was gonna ask, because we're talking about separate self very clearly and distinctly and loudly for a little while. So I was gonna introduce the idea of religious figures, right? Into that, where I'm interested in their reaction, the response in people here, because if you think about it, it's right in the middle. It's right in the middle, right? Because if you think about Jesus Christ, the ascended master, it's right in between our separate self and then what is the other.
No, there is
It is, because that's the
in-between.
point of religious figures.
Dr. Joe, I get you. You always will have a point, but this is here without the point. So forget about Jesus.
What you know?
I can speak to that though.
Okay,
David.
In college, I studied mythology.
Oh wow!
It's fascinating, but something that we learned pretty quickly is that the way that modern minds approach mythology and religion is very real. Like, take it to be very real stories. Even something more recent like King Arthur, who did exist as a person, but he did not have a Merlin and all these other characters around him. A lot of these were embellishments. But even to look back further, like Greek mythology, where you have someone like Zeus, they didn't see Zeus as an actual separate being who lived in the clouds and sent down lightning. Their interpretation of their mythology in that story was meant as a map of the psyche. So when you have a flash of inspiration, they would attribute that, personify that as the work of Zeus. And that allowed them to feel connected to this divine natural occurrence, the spontaneous, seemingly mysterious, but divine occurrence of inspiration that they couldn't explain as something that a mortal man could produce within himself. They would say, this is divinity, and they call it Zeus. Yeah. So it's a way for them to navigate, like Hades or Poseidon could personify the emotional turmoil going on within somebody's body when they lose a loved one. That was their way to connect to the emotion and to see it as a character. And so the same thing with something like the dying god motif, such as Jesus or Odin. Both are the same story, by the way, because Odin also gets crucified to obtain information from the other side. Jesus is just the Jewish retelling of the same story. But it's again,
David, you are killing me with so much knowledge. Oh my God.
We have a scholar in our midst.
Stories, but,
I love it.
But this idea of the gap between worlds that Jesus, as you're suggesting, takes that place, that in between from pure divinity or pure isness, and then the separate self. There's this motif of something has to die to transverse that gap. And that's a projection in our own minds of the separation. And the solution to that, the meaning or the purpose, that's what a person or the mind will fill in that gap with. But in mythology, that's personified meaning and purpose is Jesus. It is literally said, I am the way. This is the way. This is the bridge between worlds. And for the person, that's meaning and purpose. But the kind of undercurrent of the mythology is actually that this is not an external phenomenon. It has nothing to do with the world of phenomena. That these are just stories to map out what's happening in the psyche. But there's not a truth in that story saying that there is a person called Jesus or that his words are actually the way to transverse that gap. And it's the same thing with Buddhism or Hindu philosophy. More particularly in Hindu, though, it's explicitly stated that there is no path. That these stories are.
And you have all these gods, in Hinduism, all these gods, but they're just meant to represent different qualities.
Oh yeah.
Like and like Shiva is creator, Vishnu is the destroyer. So you could take each moment and apply the Shiva, Vishnu.
Please let me also add Santa Claus to this.
Yes.
Well, I mean, we can say there's just Shiva, you know, or Para Brahman, you know, compared to the
We can get very non-dual about the Bible as well, because we could say that, you know, meditation we were talking about, we could say, well, the kingdom of God is within you. I mean, we could take a very non-dual interpretation of that.
Well, but
I and the Father are
others,
one.
Yes, the Father are one. There was nothing. The Word is God.
Yes,
you know, the Word is with God. God is the Word. I mean,
I think my favorite
and the most
from the Bible,
and if you go back to the Old Testament, in fact, Ramana Maharshi said that he preferred what Moses said, which was "I am that I am." He felt that that was closer to the Vedic, what comes from Vedanta, which is "Thou art that." He actually felt that "I am that I am" that came from the Old Testament was a better representation of that unity.
Well, Tony, Advaita Vedanta means not to and the end of the Vedas.
Yes, indeed.
The end of knowing. Not to and end of knowing. That is what Advaita Vedanta is meaning.
And I would suggest that the most non-dual quote from the Bible, unless you become like little children, you never enter into the kingdom of heaven. And that's suggesting that we admit our ignorance with knowledge, that it is not in the world of knowledge that the peace that passes understanding is found, because it passes understanding. Unless you become like a little child, which is ignorant about their own existence, they have no conception or sense of there being a separate self that is me, little child David, and the world. It is this ignorance to the world. It is this sort of abandon when it comes to knowledge and understanding. They're just thoughts.
Then it's take no thoughts.
Yeah, somebody used that in a different way a few days ago. They were using that to become like little children, as if to say, well, there should be acceptance and there shouldn't be judgment and criticism. But then, of course, I came back and said, well, you know, Jesus got really angry when he went into the temple and he overturned the tables of the money changers. So there was a lot of judgmental stuff going on there. So what's the problem?
Doesn't it say that? Take no thoughts. I just, I don't know, conjuring that.
Say no thoughts.
Take no thoughts.
No thoughts.
Yeah. Take no thoughts. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but you're a little bit back. But also eating of the tree. You know, prior to the tree of knowledge, which we can say the mind, there was just paradise. Everything was, it was undivided until this sudden knowledge came in. Everything becomes bits and pieces, things. I mean, when there's no mind, there's no separation.
It's turned into a Bible class.
I mean, when there are no faults, there's no separation.
So, since I was the one who brought up the religious figures and threw that wrench, which can be seen as a positive thing, like a tool, right? A wrench, you use it, it's a tool, it's good. You know, in that way, I completely two thumbs up with basically I and the Father are one quote in the sense that if we understand what we're trying to do is something that's sane, that's rational, that's accomplishable, and does have to do with union with the invisible, but it's real, it's sane. And that's the thing, is that these religious figures are enabled by God, to throw that word in there. I very much do believe in God, by the way, to provide. And that's the end of the sentence. They provide. So they provide what? Well, they provide because they're at God's disposal. And if God's will is for our everlasting liberation, onto eternity in our soul, then that's why that would be the go-between.
In our what? In what soul? In where? Where are
The
you
soul,
talking
that is
about?
us.
No, but in what soul? In where? In what union?
Union, yeah, that's the problem.
The,
Union.
what
And the other, and then you glue them
yeah,
together.
what is already not divided will never be united.
Well, that word soul, the equivalent of the word soul in Vedanta is Atman, isn't it?
Yeah, the little self, the personal self.
And also, if you go back to the Nikayas, which are the earliest teachings that are from the Buddha, are supposed to be the earliest teachings, he talks explicitly about gathering and purifying the chitta, which is the mind consciousness,
the intellect,
and discovering that you are the immortal spirit. That's what it says in the Nikayas. The Buddha says you are the immortal spirit. And that's before all the schools of Buddhism, of course, came in and started fighting.
Tony, come on, the immortal
spirit.
This sounds, I understand, this sounds...
Take it up with Buddha, okay? I mean...
Yeah, but, the immortal spirit, this is...
this is just another beautiful. It's just another
Nikayas.
beautiful story. Come on,
yeah, it's a load of crap, Tony.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
But the whole thing here
is
a
another story, of course.
But this is here a total story the whole time.
Of course. What else? There seems to be when there's a sense of I am this body, then there's a fear of that. This is a thing which is out of the sense of separation, out of being this body. There's also a fear of that. And out of the fear of that, all types of idea arises to just overcome that fear of ending. Where this was already not starting for you. There's already no you for who this life is.
Beautiful. This actually I wanted to say when I forgot it, Tony, because you interrupted me.
There is no death for you.
Well, say it before you forget it again.
This is exactly what Xander Lynch now started. In a way,
life and death are not two. There is no life for you, nor is there death for you as a you separated from life. There's just life.
In a way, the game plays as such. Not that I'm understanding this, but like when Xander obviously has no sense of a me and never had. But if in a way you grow up, there is this like David said, I liked the gap. Like there is always like this gap. And with a lot of people, it's like a sense of a lack. Something is missing. It's always very correlated with suffering, with pain. And here we go. We simply try to become complete. A good example is with a partner or with a job or whatever. It's always like a need to complete yourself, to fulfill yourself, to just
make it whole.
To make it whole, because something is missing. And a lot of people have no fucking clue that this is like, they have no idea that something is missing. And but it's in a way a painful thing. And this is what I wanted to say. And then all those beautiful stories, ideas, and religions and non-duality, duality, whatever, are in a way kicking in.
Just an apart here.
Well, it's no different to any other words you use.
Tony, I just consulted artificial intelligence, and he says that the Nikayas never talk about an immortal spirit. It says that it is the opposite. He talks
Tony is
about
a liar.
Nothing. Yes, he says that you are a liar.
Well, I've got the. I'll send you the quote. I'll send you the quote, Gio. I'll send you the quote, Gio. I've got all the Nikayas. I'll send you the quote.
He says that it's exactly the opposite. It is
Don't
about...
trust AI. AI lies.
Tony, sweetheart, maybe you're simply getting old and forgetful.
AI lies to you. Don't trust AI.
Maybe Tony is a robot. Maybe he is an AI.
I asked AI specifically about some quote from some sutra, and it quoted a sutra which is completely wrong. It was completely wrong. It just made it up. I
use it in college quite a bit, and it does make up stuff.
It does, yeah. In fact, they talk about AI as hallucinating. They actually use that word, hallucinating. It makes up shit.
It's all made up shit.
Ending up here with
It's
AI
all
is this
dreamed
too.
in a way. It's all made up, you know. That's
Exactly.
that's the whole joke in a way.
Yeah.
It's innocently made
I love
up.
it.
The
Sweetheart, I
sense
love
that
it when you
there is
say
a
joke.
you, the belief that there is no you, the belief that you are the infinite awareness. It's all just innocently made up.
It's a
As is
joke.
the belief that it is or the lack of that belief. There's just no way to avoid whatever is happening, as there's no you separated to get away from this. Tell me, where do you go?
Under the blanket.
Where's the
Joe,
door out?
something
Where's
to
the
know.
door in? There was no one coming in here. There's no one coming in life already. There's no one leaving life. But the idea that there's leaving or coming and going, which you cannot leave. You cannot leave anything. You cannot go in life or out life, but as the idea that you go or in or out. But that is already not happening in or out something else. There's nothing happening in here or outside somewhere else. There's no in and out to begin with. Please tell me, where in what? In the idea that there's an in or the idea that there's an out?
Gio.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you the quote.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with all these beautiful ideas about immortality and believing that, you know,
This
the
would
belief
be
that
this
is
would be
something
so boring
continuous.
without those beautiful ideas.
Well, I mean, yeah, if
Dr. Joe is going to be very bored without those beautiful beliefs.
well, I don't know, Rosa, is he? I mean, even
Are you Dr. Joe?
Sander, Sander, like you were saying, you can't leave the sense of leaving. There's no
No.
one, there is no one to leave the sense of leaving or to catch yourself catching yourself
No.
trying to leave. There's nothing
Controller.
outside of it. And for Joe, just as one last shout out to ancient scripture, there's the secret book of John, which was omitted from the Bible in its current form. But in that, there's a chapter called the Inexpressible One. And one of the verses is the one cannot be investigated, for there is nothing outside of it to investigate it. And that's kind of the same track as what Sandra is sharing and I've shared, that like there's nothing outside of what is that could point to what is. So all these words, they're all just in this dream of somebody getting somewhere, that there is a real gap that can be traversed.
Yeah.
And like all these religions and mythologies and philosophies all are an attempt to fill that gap. What Rosa mentioned, that something missing, that pain, to address the pain, they're all just this illusion.
This is the game, and this is the game of duality. That's the game. It's how it functions, innocently so. It's the game of mind, of idea, of concepts. That's it. And it's in a way empty, totally empty. So that's why I always say about blah, 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 blah. Let's entertain ourselves with this here. And it's
like
beautiful.
a play of light, because
This
once
is total.
seeing that
This
there's
is
nothing
already
outside,
total presence.
Yeah. I mean,
This is
David,
total presence
that's where
awareness.
this word grace comes up. You see, the grace explains the non-causality. You said there's nothing you can do to traverse. Yeah, absolutely. You know, the cause and effect here isn't there, but all I would say is it's rather like, you know, if you've got an apple tree and then you take care of that apple tree and you water it and you give it nutrients and all the rest of it, and you see this apple, you know, growing and getting more and more ripe, that's cause and effect. But the moment the apple drops from the tree, you're outside of the cause and effect.
but there's no separated
But nevertheless, but nevertheless, what contributed to that apple finally falling off the tree was all of that cause and effect stuff you did before when you kept watering the roots of the tree, etc. But this is where the word grace comes in. There is that quantum leap, which can't be explained. It just can't be explained. Nobody can predict when the apple falls off the tree, but you can do all these other things to help the tree and make the apple grow and get ripe. But that's all you can say about it, right?
Tony, you're going so complicated always. Now with this example with the apple
is very
tree.
easy. What's complicated about apples? Come on.
Well,
I
when
thought
I see
you
an
was
apple,
going to talk about the discovery of gravity.
Well, yes.
yeah, this I love.
Tony,
But
on
Tony-
one level, things can be done. Yeah, definitely. Water, giving the plants water. and
Eating
all
the
that.
apple may happen.
Yes. This is just simply pointing out that there's no separated you doing anything or nothing to begin with. So yes, on one level we can say many things may seem to be happen, but cause and effect are not two separated dimensions. There's no separated cause from this.
Well, if you hit a snooker ball, then you can predict that it's going to hit another ball, and then maybe it's going to go in the pocket. So that seems to be cause and effect. What you can't do is go back to the first cause. You can't go back to the first cause. So if you hit a snooker ball, you could say there's a cause and effect, and you could say, well, why did I hit the snooker ball? Well, I picked up the cue and I, hit the ball. Yeah, but why did that happen? Well, I was sitting down and I got up when I went to the table. Yeah, but why did that happen? Well, I walked into the snooker hall. Well, why did that happen? Well, I woke up in the morning and I thought, I'm going to play snooker. You can never go back to the first cause. That's the thing. But what I would say to David is, if you don't do anything, then nothing's going to happen. So your only alternative is just to wait. Just wait. Just sit here and wait and see if something happens. That's your only other alternative.
Wait, Tony, that's
just maybe something will happen.
If you do something, still nothing is happening. If you do nothing, nothing is happening, and everything is happening at the same time. It's both and neither. Where you claim when you don't do anything, nothing is happening, that's not completely true. On one level, yes.
You're not going to find a buyer for that.
Here we go. You see? This is about the truth.
Always.
When you say, David, when you do nothing, nothing is happening. That's not true. Yes, on one level, but everything is happening at the same time, because happening or not happening is just what is happening and not happening, apart from the idea that something is happening or not happening.
So, Tony, this is your homework.
Well, if you think, yeah. If you think you're on a path, then you're going to do something. You're going to meditate, or as I did. I meditated for more than 30 years, and you're going to do that. But then, if you tell yourself, because you've read some non-duality books, that nobody's doing anything and nothing's happening, then okay, don't do anything. I mean, nobody's forcing you to do anything. Just don't do anything.
Not even you. But Tony, what I was going to say, like, to cause and effect, if cause is what is, there's the appearance of cause and there is the appearance of effect. They're not separate appearances. There's one appearance, one what isness. They are both what is. It doesn't matter what the cause or the effect are. There's no qualitative difference there. It's just.
But it doesn't matter. I'm still going to thrash you at pool.
Thrash what?
I'm still going to thrash you. I'm still going to beat you at pool.
Oh,
whether there's cause and effect or not, I'm still going to beat you at pool.
Ah, the pool game. Ah, I got it now.
Pool.
Tony.
Snooker. Pool.
Snooker. Mm-hmm.
Right. And
okay.
Well, he's an American. You don't play snooker. You see, you play pool, right? So, I mean, regardless of whether you think there's any cause and effect, you're still going to play the game, right? You're still going to play the game, and you're going to hit those balls, and Who the hell cares whether there's cause and effect? You're still going to hit those balls.
And I suggest that the place plays out without players. Boom.
No, just the distinction I was making, though, that if there is the appearance of cause and effect, that does seem to happen. Those aren't being said to be illusions as far as they don't happen at all. There is the appearance of cause and effect, but they are the same thing. They are.
If you read Nagarjuna,
you could say,
if you read Nagarjuna about cause and effect, you will understand that nothing can be the cause of an effect, because in order for a cause to be an effect, they have to be the same thing. And if they are the same thing, there is no cause and effect that separate.
Yes.
Yeah. This is just philosophical discourse. It's got nothing to do with freedom, but okay, it's fun. It's fun to have those discussions.
Sweetheart, you're so sweet. So this is obviously not about freedom.
Well, it should be, but
there is no freedom because there is no the other side. How do you call?
Well, is there anything else but freedom?
Yeah,
this is free to be whatever seems to be felt to be. Anything else is, I mean, there isn't even a thing called freedom at the same time. This is freedom, and there is no freedom.
Boom.
Boom.
Thanks to Tony's devices there, we have this beautiful echo in the background the whole time running.
I would say there's only freedom, but there's no such thing as your freedom or my freedom.
Where's that echo coming from?
From your mic, I guess.
I don't have echoes here.
No, really? No, it's not me, because I'm listening on earbuds, so I'm not creating any kind of echo. I don't.
It doesn't matter. It's nice, sweetheart. I'm totally enjoying the echo. Oh, it's not Tony.
I don't hear any
Look,
echoes.
I put my mic.
So it's Dr. Joe.
That's the first time I've.
Am I echoing?
No.
No, it doesn't matter. I just mentioned it as a joke.
The U is an echo. It's like
I do hear.
I'm getting a delayed echo of my voice. I'm getting a delayed echo of my voice all through this, and I don't know why.
So it's possibly me, but who cares, sweetheart?
Excuse me.
So Joe, Dr. Joe, what would you say?
Yeah, I haven't spoken a little bit. I'll say something.
I've got to go. Nice to chat with you guys.
David, take care.
Nice to see you. Nice to meet you, sir. Hope to see you again.
Hey, David, come back again.
Yeah, to be here. See you guys.
See you.
Bye, David. Bless you. Angel blessings.
See you.
See you.
Joe.
Yeah, I'll speak up. So I guess I'll bring up a new point. So the point of relinquishing judgment along the path.
This is not about the absence of judgment, or the doing. Judgments are just simply, they're no ones, In spirituality, it's always about losing judgment and no judgment. I say there's no you being there's no separated judger. There's no such thing as your judgment. But of course, when there's a sense of self, it's all about controlling judgment and doing something about it, and what people think of my judgment. When there's that sense of separation, it's all about judgment and the lack of them. Judging to go on to cross the road, it's just simply innocently happening. Looking, there's nothing wrong with looking to right and left to cross the street. There seems to be an idea in spirituality that judgment are something, which needs to go. And you are only there, you are free when there's no judgment. But I would say freedom is being free of judgments to be yours or you.
Freedom
we're
is
back to non-attachment again.
Let me add something real quick because I started it. I brought that up in context of absolute freedom, right? And just judgment and relinquishing it would be the thing. Now, if you understand that judgment, if you take it objectively, right, using that word linguistics again, right, semantics, the logical meanings of words. So judgment as one word and what it means, and that if I'm picking out my clothing in the morning and I'm judging, right, that's positive, that's good. If I'm judging, should I go in this area of town with my car, right? Those are good judgments or use of judgment, so to speak. Now, judgment in this way along the path to freedom, now in context of how we're using our mind right now, right, would be the thing alone, so to speak, right? So letting go of thinking that there's any kind of positivity to that,
But
you know, and that you don't need to waste a second of your time going into it, right? Going into being judgmental in that
But you can't
place.
control any of that,
no,
can
but
you?
letting go gives the idea that there's a you already holding a judgment or doing something which you can let go. There's no you holding any judgment able to let it go. This is an illusion. The idea that you can
Yeah,
let
but it
things
still seems
go
like you can do
is
that,
based
right?
on the idea that you are
it
holding
seems
something already.
it looks like as if you are doing this, and that's the illusion, so to say.
It was David who was making the echo, because that's gone now. He's gone.
He
It's
must
it?
have been,
okay.
yeah, he left.
Oh, okay, David.
So, you know, there's no you holding any grudge, holding any judgment, or holding any opinions outside the idea that you are holding an opinion or not. That idea or belief is already not held as such by something separated, able to let it go. So the idea or the belief that you are holding itself is already not holded by something.
This is a very common kind of spiritual idea, isn't it? That we should
Yeah.
not be judgmental, that we should be accepting of everything. I mean, I just don't buy that.
Who
I
can
mean,
do such a
because
thing to begin with? Who is doing such a thing to
look,
begin with? Like that.
if someone was torturing a child in front of me, I mean, I'd be very judgmental. I mean, I'd do something about it, you know? I wouldn't
Tony,
say,
nice.
this is just Maya. This is just Maya, you know? I mean, this is an illusion. Oh, the
It's just simply how the
echoes come
cookie
back
crumbles.
again.
It's the same like getting rid of the ego. I would say there's just ego. There's no such thing as your ego or my ego. This is just egoing on its own. It's all egoing. You know, the need to, you know, who is there separated to have this? We can call it all ego, it's all personality playing out, it's all egoing. There's no such thing. You know, it's funny when you hear spiritual people say, I have to get rid of my ego. In a way, that's the biggest ego, to get rid of my ego.
Impossible.
You cannot get
Impossible.
rid of, you know, because you cannot get rid of something which you already not have in that sense. We
Yeah,
don't
as long
have
as
a
there's a
body
body
nor
mind,
ego.
there's going to be ego. Yeah, but the appearance of body mind means that there's the appearance of ego.
Let me say
Yeah.
something. In a way, it's in all those like spiritual, the things I experienced with self-help and helping the person with a lot of issues. It's always about, first of all, the
Did it
person.
work?
I don't want to go yet. Partially, it worked, like in a way, this ultimate therapy, but in a way, so I forgot. No, in a way, a lot of speakers, non-dual speakers, are going with, well, it's energetic. Like in a way, the feeling of a center of a me, it's in a way energetic. It's not just a thought. It's not just a belief. And there seems to be the play that about the freedom, that this plays out, that this in a way sense of separation, sense of being the doer, of relating, can simply collapse.
But it has already no continuity. No one is feeling to be the doer the whole day. No one. There's already no continuity in I'm this body or I'm not the body.
I know.
Oh,
You can have equanimity. You can have equanimity and peace of mind and still be judgmental.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I would say I don't have anything. I'm full on judgmental or whatever.
Sounds like your highest excitement to me.
Yeah, whatever. I don't give a shit about if there is a me or no me or I don't know what. It's so simple. It's just so simple. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
well, it's always what it is. Even I mean, saying it's not what it is also what it is in one way. I mean, how can it not be what it is? Including the idea that it is what it is or the absence of that. I mean, that's too obvious, right? It's always directly, it's always what it is. It's never
Always.
something else, and even that is it. Well,
Well, it couldn't be anything other than what it is.
that's too obvious,
Yeah.
right? And this is
It's
free to
interesting, isn't
include.
it?
Yeah, go ahead, Gio.
No, it's interesting, isn't it? We are sort of picking each other in order to show that there is only this.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
it's
the
a joke.
entertainment.
Yeah,
That's the
of
joke.
course.
And we've been talking about this for 2.5 hours. We've been talking about this.
Not really, Tony. Just
The
apparently.
talking is this already, Tony. The talking is this already.
Apparently.
It's not even that
There's
we
no
talk
such thing
about
as time.
Oh, sweethearts, let me tell you here maybe a little bit. I was to Karl Renz on Sunday, and the funny
You were
thing
gonna
was,
say that.
that he was mentioning that I'm running a YouTube channel, and he was like, he in a way is doing nothing. He is waiting for someone to say something, and he is also asking, "Come on, ask something, say something." And because I know him, I just feel the energy there. I'm booming out like an idiot. Of course I do. I'm entertaining myself. And even though I don't love to be so outstanding, I have 50 people there, but I just, I don't care. And then I boomed out and I simply asked him about his neck. Sweetheart, how is your neck? Because he had a stiff neck last time. And he was like directly, like always, without thinking, oh yeah, always when there is full moon, I have a stiff neck because of like a snake. There is like he was going into like energy stuff. I have no fucking clue about Kundalini or snake energy and full moon. I don't. And I was like, wow, what a snake. And he heard he is not hearing good. He thought that I'm saying what a bullshit. So already a misunderstanding. I simply was curious about the snake, about the story of the snake. And he heard, because he knows me, I'm saying he's talking bullshit. And he thought I said what a bullshit. And then he directly started to the way to turn it up to me and just like, then he went like, oh, you're the one with the YouTube channel, right? You're doing you're doing those podcasts about being, about isness. And then he started to make fun, and I was like,
oh, he's one of your followers.
No, he's not. But
she is one of the followers.
Apparently some characters were saying this to him, and I was just cracking up. It was so entertaining, like the whole time. I don't know, like bashing on each other, funnily. This I wanted to share. It's about entertainment. And we both agree that it's only verbal diarrhea. No escaping the verbal diarrhea. And not even. It's like, yeah. It just goes automatic.
Yes, but we are somehow learning not to get attached to anything. Even getting attached is not separate. So something.
Oh, be careful, Gio. That sounds like a process to me.
Yeah, I have to be careful. Yeah. Indeed, yeah.
No, there is no need to be careful. There is no need to be careful.
Want to be careful.
Okay. Here is no need to protect myself or be careful.
No, but that's just, you know, if that need is arising, then that is just simply what it is, right?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, when Tony, you know, Tony was not thinking by himself, I'm going to say that to Gio. Gio was not even knowing that he's going to say that. It was just
No, it just boom, there it was.
Oh,
Just popped into my mind. Boom.
It's
I'm
funny,
not in
it's
control
always
of
that
anything.
spontaneous and innocent. Even the idea that it's not, or the belief that it's not, is as spontaneous and innocent as anything else. And at the same time,
Yeah.
there isn't a thing which is innocent. It gives almost the idea that there is something as a thing which is innocent, which could be. I mean, it's not even innocence. Innocence and spontaneous is just another so-called idea or
Words.
belief.
Yeah.
It gives idea that there is a thing, but there is no thing. Whatever. This is not a thing. There's no
okay.
corners. There's no edges. There's no beginning. There's no end. There's no in. There's no out. There is not.
Okay, sweetheart. So let's go. Let's go with what is this without any idea, any thought? What is this in deep, deep sleep? Let's go with this.
Well, nothing and not even nothing. I mean, you can say it's nothing, but nothing can just be an objectification of something which is not. You know, so.
Yeah, I know.
Some people will say that deep sleep is just another story.
But
Because
it's
deep
always just
sleep
another
is,
story.
Because deep sleep is for others. For myself, I have no notion, no consciousness of deep sleep or death.
Of course
Just others
Deep
have.
sleep is only a story when you wake up and you say, I was sleeping. That's the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because in deep sleep there's nothing, but in the waking state there is a referring back, because there's a certain freshness to waking up, and out of that freshness there's a saying, well, I slept well, but there is no you, there's no nothing. It's like, you know, like prior to this so-called life, we can say that's also deep sleep.
Awareness. We
I'll
can
add,
say
I'll
the
add
same
your...
thing about. Go ahead.
Go ahead, sir. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was thinking if deep sleep and death are just stories, is not awareness also pure awareness?
No.
Well, I was going to add that. What was it? Saunders said. What was it? If we're talking about, you said freshness and sleep and waking up, and in that way, and obviously following your highest excitement, right? And in that way, that life can't life can't exist without there being newness, right? In the sense that the flowers come out in the spring, and it's always new. It's always, that's why spring has that hallmark quality to us, our species, right? As humans, right? We put them on the cards and say, be happy, it's springtime, flower, right? So in that way, there's a newness to life that's inevitable. And we're matching frequencies. We're working, what are we working to do? We're working to free ourselves. And freedom is about what? Is it about illusion or is it about reality? It's about reality. And we already know that nature is real. And now we have an understanding, a point about nature and life, that it can't be not of newness or freshness. So then in us, we can mirror that or match with that. And that's just kind of like a measure,
how is nature
something
real?
that we can use to grow, you know? What's that?
How is nature real? Because how is nature real? Because it's something, it's an object, isn't it? It's changing, it's appearing, disappearing. So how can nature be real?
Well, it has to be real in order for us. You mean in a phenomenological sense? It's a big word, big writer word.
Well, look, I mean, the thing is, Joe, it depends how you define unreal, because I would just say that what is unreal is that which is changing and appearing and disappearing.
But that itself
so
is
what isn't
disappearing, Tony, and you know that state.
Yeah, you could say that. Yes, right? Yes, you could say that. but just going back to Geo, is awareness a story as well?
Well, I was thinking
because what the story is anything you can objectify is a story, but you cannot objectify awareness because awareness is the ultimate subject.
And where is awareness in deep sleep? Or under anesthesia? Where is awareness?
Well, awareness is nowhere and everywhere. I mean, I don't know how you answer that question, because
even
awareness is,
you know, Nisargadatta was saying even that in the end is just another idea or another concept. And when that goes, there's nothing left and not even nothing. Even awareness or consciousness as such is just
this.
Yeah, it's just another, you know, when it comes to the concept, is just the last one. When it goes,
I don't think you said it was a concept.
There is a subtle separation when we talk about awareness and phenomena.
Yeah, exactly.
It's difficult to pinpoint
It's subtle,
exactly where is the
It's still a
anything that can be known is an object. Yeah, I mean, anything that can be known is an object, and as such cannot be real because it's appearing and disappearing. Right? I mean, so the question is, well, what is real? And I would say that you are real. This is what Vedanta is saying. You are real.
Yes, I mean, in deep sleep,
before you
where
even
is the real in deep
the
sleep?
unborn, the unborn you is what is real. That which is
in
unborn.
the unborn, Tony, in the unborn, there is no born or unborn, I would say, nor in or out.
Yeah, you could say that, and it seems to have some kind of meaning when you say that, but it's just another statement.
I know what you
just
mean.
As the statement I made was
a statement as any statement being made about awareness being real or unreal.
It's not it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but you will speak of the unborn as well. I've heard you say the unborn, so I kind of accept that. You know, I accept it.
Exactly. So, but there's a seeing that at the same time, you know, the unborn or the unseen, you know, all that, when that goes, there's nothing, you know, unborn, unseen, unmanifested. There are still
because in this present moment, there is no time, so we cannot talk about prior and something that comes after. It's totally untouchable, totally unspeakable.
Unspeakable.
Yes, it's unspeakable. It really cannot be described.
Tony, you know that. It's just pointers.
Of course, yeah.
You can call it the unborn, the unmanifest, but on one level, even those things seems to go.
Yeah.
Joe,
but I can't rid myself from the idea. What happens in deep sleep?
What are you? Joe, I was just going to ask you, what are you a doctor of?
I mean, what can we talk about? There's nothing to talk about when it comes to deep sleep, Gio.
What are you a doctor of?
Yeah, I'm a doctor only in Reiki. Reiki is universal
right,
energy.
okay. Oh, Reiki, right. Oh, yeah, I know what Reiki is. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, just curious.
I'm
going to round the show up. It's what is it?
Good.
It's long.
Round the show up.
I mean, where was?
Yeah, I've got 2 minutes 36 2 hours 36 minutes here.
Sander is frozen. Oh, or I'm frozen. Maybe.
I am moving. Well, everybody, Wendy, Rosa,
you're definitely
Tony,
frozen, Rosa.
Dr. Joe, Gio, Anand, Sebastian, and David.
And Sander
Thank you very much for engagement, interaction, or whatever.
For the play, for the game.
Beautiful. Thank you for the openness.
It's been great.
Have a beautiful night or
been
morning.
really.
Tony, go to bed. It's late.
This has been my highest excitement.
Oh,
Obviously.
same here, sweetheart. I love you all.
Fun.
Bye-bye, Wendy. Mwah.
Take care, everybody. Have a beautiful night.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Hey, Joe, come back.
Yeah,
Tony,
I will.
Tony,
Thank
I
you
will
all.
message you.
Sebastian, come back also. And Gio, it's a joy. Anna,
Huh?